Namaste. I'm going to make a asana series, considering that there are a lot of people who might be watching it and they are beginners. I also call it who are beginners with yoga and also have deeper interest in human body, and so I normally call it father-son workouts. People as boys or girls as old as 5 years can begin to do it because we start from the very beginning. It also helps them develop their body structures. Their tendons and ligaments will be developing faster when they keep these things in mind. So yoga is basically about geometry of your body. Deeper asanas of yoga are totally based upon a fixed geometry. Uh, we are going to work on wheel pose, chakrasan. There are two ways of reaching into wheel pose. One is that you fall, you lie on the back and you push with your hands and you lift your torso somehow. The other one is to go into a wheel pose step by step, and when you go into it step by step you develop strength. So you reach from one level of strength to the another level with all your body parts which are connected, like, and it goes all the way to your calf muscles, to your thighs, to your torso, and shoulders. So it's actually one of the most complete asanas to develop strength, and we should be careful to do it. So I'll try to tell you two ways. If you have not been working out, I presume if you've not been working out, then we will use some help. I have a table here with me. Also, since I'm the only one who's doing the asana and I have to handle the camera, so please bear with the movement of the camera. It's not going to be very professional, but I think I'll focus on what I'm delivering as the content. Also, uh, so we have four major joints. Now joints are really important because the fluids, they travel through the joints, and there are a lot of nerve endings in these nerves passing through these joints. So we have four joints, major joints, two where the arms are connected and two where the legs begin, and we have eight smaller joints, the wrists, elbows, and in the same way both of them, and then two in the knees and two in the feet. So these eight joints must be made enough warm up, rotations and everything before we start any workout. Four bigger joints, eight smaller joints, and one main joint. This is very complex and long issue. I think I'm not very qualified to talk about it. I just know some things about what we can do with the neck. So beginning with the chakrasan, starting of chakrasan, how to. So in yoga asana, we never push ourselves. In any yoga asana, we never push ourselves to get into the asana. We have to let the asana sink into us. We have to just allow ourselves to sink into the asana. We don't reach into the asana, we don't push ourselves into the asana, is one of the basic understanding which I developed quite late in my life, but I think I can present in the beginning here. So um, we are going to just lie basically on a surface which is at least coming to our middle of the hips. Now this is a little smaller, but this is all I have. So yeah, I'll show you. Make sure never to bend your knees when you're going into chakrasana, because the joints that we bend, so the effect of the bend is absorbed by the joint which is lower. We have to take this stretching to the next more important joint. So here the more important joint is the groin, and if we bend our knees, the effect doesn't reach all the way to the back. Now here it's shorter, so my knees will be bent, but try to find a surface, a slab or anything where you can keep your knees straight. There are two ways to do it. This is for very beginners who have never done anything. I mean, yes, who have had a long break. So you can try this. Put your elbows and try to relax your back, and slowly move your arms away and lie. When you're into it, take 5 to 10 deep breaths before you come back. Feel the stretch going into your groin, opening of the pelvic girdle. One of the most important things that you will see in yoga is hip flexors and opening of the pelvic girdle. Also, uh, yeah, and I'll now tell you a different way of doing it without any support. So clench your fists tight, put them in the small of your back and bend. Make sure that your elbows, they don't open wide. The elbows should be parallel to each other, not spreading outwards. So place your fists into the low of the back and go down. And when you go down, keep your knees straight and your hip muscles should get tightened. Now there is a big difference if you don't tighten your hip muscles, which I'll explain in a while. Tighten your hip muscles, go down as much as you can, breathe. Focus on your hip muscles and your knees, keep your knees straight, tighten your hip muscles and stretch a little back. As we clench our fists into our low back and bend backwards with our knees straight, um, the stretch goes to the pelvic girdle, and when we squeeze our hips, we will see that every time we go back, our internal abdominal muscles, they align and they tend to shift upwards. So this is one way to check if your asana is going into the right position. When you see that you feel that your internal organs and your abdominal muscles are moving upwards, this will happen only when you squeeze your hip muscles and you press into your lower back with your clenched fists. Please ensure that this happens, because this is going to align internal muscles. I'm stressing it again and again because when we start doing pranayam, if our internal organs are not aligned properly, if your muscles are not aligned properly, then with the pressure that pranayams like Kapalbhati create on your system, your organs can be more dislodged. And also in Ayurvedic way, we have our nabhi, which is our navel, where the placenta is connected, and all the information to the embryo is coming from the placenta. Is very important part of our body in the Ayurvedic and yogic system. So its center should be maintained, and chakrasana is one of the best ways to do that. So all your nerves are connected to your nabhi, to your navel, and they come into the right position if you squeeze your hips and you feel your organs moving up. It's very important. Now how to go deeper into chakrasana. We're going to use a wall. We stand one arm away from the wall, just as the geometry has to be maintained. So our shoulders, our toes will be shoulder wide apart and pointed straight. I can't show you, but they are pointing straight and their shoulder width apart. We stand here, put our fists in the back, go down and press against the wall with our hands. The first thing to do is to press with our fingers away from the wall and feel the stretch all the way into our chest and torso. And then start to go down. In small steps we go down, and I'll show you what happens next. So push with your hand and your feet deeper into the ground so that your torso rises higher. In this position, your knees will be bent because it's for very experienced people whose knees won't be bent even in this position. The elbows will be very straight and pushed out of the shoulder socket. So push with your hands with full force on the ground, push with your feet and let your torso rise. Take 10 deep breaths and come back slowly. So, between the starting of practice to reaching to this stage, if you are a beginner, take at least a month. Take at least a month not to injure yourself because it can lead to deep compression if you are in hurry. In yoga, there is no hurry. You cannot push yourself into the asana. You have to reach into the asana. You have to let the asana work on you. So this is the beginning, and every stretch has a compensation. So now we do back bends. In the next one I'll show you forward bends to compensate, which will again have its different steps because the final position will be advanced one. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.